Hey up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire Geek, and I'm live. I'm live with a Sunday news stream. So, shall we have an intro, and then I'll get on with it, shall we? Yeah. Right, I'm back. I hope I'm streaming, because I just noticed it came up and said, error. So I hope I'm there. Yes, I am. I'm there. Oh, crikey. That was heart palpitations for a minute there. Right, so as I said, got some news to look at. So let's get the news window up. Ba-dum. There we go. As usual, I've got the wrong news up. Typical. Because I was just copying the titles and URLs for the description. Because as usual, links are in the description down below. And don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. I'm also on Rumble, Spotify. I can never remember Spotify. I'm also on Rumble, Spotify, Amazon Music Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Links are in the description for all that, as are the links for my 2 books. Silent Predator, short horror novella. Mercury Rapids, slightly bigger sci-fi action adventure, light-hearted, bit of fun. They're on Amazon, Kindle, and paperback. Kindle's cheaper, obviously. Right, so let's have a look. Here we go. Disney restricting Lucasfilm's upcoming projects report. This is from the Direct. By the way, I've not read any of these. I've just looked at the headlines. I thought, that sounds interesting. It could all be nonsense. Right. Here we go. After news of Willow's cancellation, a new rumour claimed that Disney has placed restrictions on Lucasfilm about the development of other projects. Lucasfilm is best known for making and highlighting Star Wars content, but some may not even be aware that the studio is also responsible for introducing Willow and Indiana Jones. What about Red Tails? That were a Lucasfilm one, wasn't it? But were that back with another studio? You know, I honestly can't remember. I know George Lucas was behind Red Tails, wasn't he? That film about black fighter pilots. And actually not too bad. I didn't think it was anyway. Anyway, the arrival of Disney Plus allowed Lucasfilm to explore new content for its IPs. Intellectual properties, if you weren't aware of that. Mansplaining. Leading to Willow's revival, a plethora of Star Wars shows and a potential Indiana Jones spin-off. By the way, changing the subject, if you're in the UK, did you remember to put your clocks forward? I did, eventually. Oh, by the way, have you noticed? I've decided to go with the flat cap again. I haven't worn it for a while. I mean, I could have me, I could put that on top, couldn't I? For branding, but I won't. Right, Disney's restrictions on Lucasfilm are revealed. Right. Above the lines, Jeff Snyder claimed on the Hot Mic podcast that the Ravenwood Indiana Jones spin-off show on Disney Plus is dead. Ravenwood, I didn't even know what called that, but never mind. Before saying that Disney isn't allowing Lucasfilm to make projects other than Star Wars from now on. That's where he stood. It was like Bob Iger standing towering above Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm saying, "Make no more." You know what I mean? I'm being silly. It's Sunday and I'm all giddy. Don't know why. This rumour comes after Disney Plus cancelled Willow after only 1 season, which was a decision made 2 months after the show's 8-episode run. Despite being cancelled, there is still a chance that the show could be explored again, considering that it remains one of Lucasfilm's most important IPs. They've only got 3. Unbelievable. And that's because, of Jonathan Kasdan saying, there is going to be a season 2. We're just taking a hiatus, coping with the fact that he's being fired, essentially. But yeah, no, there isn't. Lucas's most important IPs. Like, as I said, they've got Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Willow. And that's it, innit, really? As I've said before, why don't they make a Monkey Island film? That'd be great. Like a Pirates of the Caribbean comedy, wouldn't it? It'd be good, would that? And as I said, Red Tails. I'm not sure about Red Tails. Is that still under Lucasfilm, or is that owned by like another studio? I don't know. I'll have to look it up, won't I? Shall we look it up? Right, I'm going to look it up now. Since we're live, what the heck? I don't care. I don't care. Right, Red Tails. Because it's got into me head. Right, who made it? Right, Wikipedia, Red Tails. Who distributed it? Let's have a look. Where does it say? Right, Lucasfilm Production Company. Oh, distributed by 20th Century Fox. So that should be on Disney Plus, you'd think, wouldn't you? Is it? I don't know. There you go. By the way, it was a flop. It had a budget of 58 million and its box office was 50, so it was a flop. But it's not a bad film. I don't think it is anyway. Good effects. Right, where were we? Right, what we're we talking about? Oh, Willow. As reported by The Wrap, the Indiana Jones prequel, because I said Willow, the Indiana Jones prequel spin-off show from Disney Plus was supposed to revolve around a young Abner Ravenwood, Marion Ravenwood's father, who we never saw, who is a much talked about character in the Indiana Jones franchise, but has yet to appear. Oh, I just said that, didn't I? Tell you, I should read these, shouldn't I, before I read them. The Wrap also shared the spin-off series' first plot details, with it revolving around Abner mentoring a group of young archaeologists. It was also reported that some of the creative heavyweights behind Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, creative heavyweights, will most likely return for the spin-off. Last year, Lucasfilm lost the rights to Children of Blood and Bone to Paramount, which strongly indicated that the studio's main focus, I ain't got a drink, is on the galaxy far, far away. That's my drinking game, isn't it? And I ain't got a drink with me. Yeah, they lost the rights because they fannied about, didn't they? And that's it lapsed. And the author or whoever was able to take it somewhere else, wasn't she? Anyway, the Hollywood Reporter, THR, shared that Lucasfilm let development languish for Children of Blood and Bone as it turned its focus to its Star Wars series slate on Disney+. After the 2020 Disney Investor Day presentation, Tomi Adeyemi, apologies, the novel's author, grew disenchanted with the development of the project, leading to him, I thought it was her, oh, never mind, leading to him pushing for a stronger voice at the creative table. The rift between the two sides ultimately led to Paramount winning the rights to the adaptation and Adeyemi having creative influence and the right to serve as its screenwriter. I could have sworn it was written by a woman. Well, never mind. Maybe it was going to be directed by a woman, I don't know. Anyway, Hollywood Reporter also noted then that Lucasfilm was shifting away from developing projects that are new and instead leaning towards those under its umbrella, such as Willow, Star Wars and Indiana Jones 5. If the rumour is true, it is unfortunate that the planned Indiana Jones spin-off show about Abner Ravenwood will not move forward anymore. I don't care, to be honest. I don't care. The cancellation, I mean, it could have been good, because you could think that Indy learned all of his, swashbuckling action archaeologist moves from Abner Ravenwood. So maybe, in his youth, Abner Ravenwood were a lot like Indiana Jones. You could say that, couldn't you? Or not, but it'd have been interesting, wouldn't it? But Abner. The cancellation essentially prevented the further expansion of the Indiana Jones lore. More so, this update could also mean that potential new projects under the Indiana Jones banner could be put on hold, including a 6th film and more spin-offs set in that universe. It's also possible that the mandate was implemented due to financial reasons, especially after Disney confirmed that Dial of Destiny had a record-breaking budget of $294.7 million, which makes it Lucasfilm's most expensive movie ever. Yeah, it's up there, isn't it, with the actual most expensive movies ever. I don't know if it's like 3rd or 4th or something, isn't it? From Willow Season 2's cancellation to the Blood and Bone situation, it adds further credence that Lucasfilm is prioritising Star Wars as its main content. This isn't surprising, mainly because the Galactic franchise is the studio's most popular intellectual property. For now, fans can catch another glimpse at Harrison Ford's iconic archaeologist when Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny premieres in theatres on June 30th. Oh, that's it. There we go. I'm going to say something else. There's rumours, isn't there, that at Star Wars Celebration, which is it in April? I think it's in April. They're going to announce 3 new Star Wars movies. I bet they don't. I bet they don't. I bet they announce 3 new Disney Plus series. I bet they do. I bet that's what happens. Oh, they'll announce nothing at all. They'll show footage of the new Jedi. Is it Jedi Survivor game? There'll be footage of that, won't there? And maybe there's rumours of that they're going to return to the Dark Forces universe, Kal Katarn and all that. So there could be something about that. I think it's going to be mostly games and TV that we're going to see. That's what I think. That's what I think. But what I think doesn't matter, does it? Because I'm just an idiot. Right. Speaking of Star Wars, except value your privacy. No, they don't. Will there be a Book of Boba Fett Season 2? I bloody hope not. This is from Game Rant. Boba Fett is set to appear in The Mandalorian Season 3, is he? Oh, right. And that cameo might lead to another season for his solo series. And there he is. You can just see him there. Just make him out. There, he's there, look. With Mando. That's obviously from... that's from Book of Boba Fett, isn't it? On Tatooine, where he ends up fighting Cad Bane and all that, doesn't it? And it was rubbish. It was rubbish. Anyway, last year, the Book of Boba Fett gave Star Wars fans a deeper look at just what happened after Han Solo tossed the bounty hunter towards the Sarlacc's belly. Did he? I can't actually remember what happened now. How did he fall in? I can't remember. No, he didn't. No, he didn't toss him, did he? He hit him with the staff and it set off his jetpack, didn't he? And he flew into the sail barge and crashed and then rolled into the pit. So he didn't toss him in. But even then they got that wrong, didn't they, kind of? They kind of fluffed it up within the series, because it showed him climbing out with all his armour on, and then Jawas came along, nicked all his armour, and it showed him sort of like coming in and out of consciousness. It showed the Jawas steal his armour, and that's how... I forgot his name now. The Timothy Olyphant character, that's how he came across the armour. He got it from some Jawas. But then later on, it showed... Boba Fett hovering over the Sarlacc pit with his, with Slave One, not Boba Fett's starship, not what they call it, fire spray, whatever they call it. No, it's Slave One, hovering over, then it getting grabbed because he thought his armour was still in there, but no, never mind. Anyway, considering its relatively small viewership compared to The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett Season 2 is not a guarantee, yet the possibility of continuing to use that spin-off to flesh out more of Din Djarin and Grogu's story is tempting, like they did in the first series. The 2 best episodes didn't have Boba Fett in, or if he was in, he was like in a background role. Anyway, nevertheless, it's worth wondering if there's a plot compelling enough in Boba Fett's solo adventures, whether that can help Mando grow more overall, or even where George Lucas's original Mandalorian was left to see if it even makes sense. Well, he wasn't a Mandalorian, was he, originally? I don't think he was, anyway. He had Mandalorian armor and a Mandalorian spaceship. But I think even that's changed now. Is it not a Mandalorian spaceship anymore? But it used to be, didn't it? I'm sure it did. But he himself wasn't Mandalorian originally. Anyway, I think, but I could be wrong. The premise behind the Book of Boba Fett spin-off is simple. The titular character narrowly escapes death at the hands of the Sarlacc. Well, he's not a bloody Mandalorian, is he? Well, they tried to retcon it, didn't they? I think it was in The Mandalorian, wasn't it, where he showed his, what they call it, his DNA chain, whatever they call it. I can't remember what they call it. Saying that his father, Jango Fett, was a Mandalorian foundling or something. I don't know. Tying themselves in knots. Anyway, where were we? The premise behind the Book of Boba Fett spin-off is simple. The titular character narrowly escapes death at the hands of the Sarlacc, though once he's out, it takes him a good amount of time to get back on his feet. This period mainly features his integration into the Tusken tribe, which was pointless, really, wasn't it? But never mind. Those flashbacks inform audiences of what he's been up to all this time, but the series' real focal point is Boba Fett's rise to power as Tatooine's new daimyo, I don't know, crime lord, but he didn't do any crime. An endeavour that calls for him to enlist Din Djarin's help. In the finale, Boba Fett, Mando and Fennec Shand end up besting the Pike Syndicate, with the new protagonist enjoying the privilege of killing one of Star Wars' most notorious mercenaries Cad Bane. Yeah, that would a bloody wishy-washy affair, wasn't it? Or is he dead? Besides managing to liberate Freetown from the Pikes, Boba Fett also adopts a new pet in the mighty Rancor, which on its own is enough of a weapon to instill fear into any would-be usurpers that dare challenge his rule. And there he is in his Bacta tank. We spent half the series in that, didn't he? As seen in the Mandalorian Season 3 premiere, Navarro has come a long way since a more civilised form of government was put in place, and it's possible Boba Fett could accomplish the same for his own jurisdiction. In Book of Boba Fett, the former bounty hunter isn't exactly thrilled by the administrative tasks his new position demands. However, his ability to form allegiances with people like the biker gang show he can be more diplomatic. Administrative tasks. It was a crime boss. He wasn't the mayor. They had a mayor that was supposed to be in his pocket, but, he ended up being a traitor, didn't he, to the Pikes. But administrative tasks. You're a crime boss. You kill everybody who gets in your way. But it's Disney, innit? So they can't do stuff like that. To sum it up, Boba Fett becomes Tatooine's new boss. He takes in a powerful Rancor, fights alongside Mando and Grogu, and Shan stays by his side to help him rule his territory. And at the end, after all that, he says, I don't think I'm cut out for this. Let's sod off. That's what he says. Verbatim. The last bit of crucial information came in Book of Boba Fett's post-credit scene, which shows him in deep sleep inside the Bacta tank. No, it didn't. That showed Timothy Olyphant's character in the Bacta tank, not Boba Fett. I'm sure it did. I'm sure it showed Timothy Olyphant's character in there. Thus confirming the show's recurring idea that Boba Fett's health is frail at best. I wish I could remember his name, that Timothy Olyphant's character. It'll come to me. At the moment, Disney has not made any official announcements regarding a potential Season 2 for the Book of Boba Fett. And with so much Star Wars content being planned down the line, even in 2023, it would seem counterintuitive to think that would be the case. On top of that, Bob Iger's return as Disney CEO looks to implement a new quality over quantity approach for handling Marvel and Star Wars. Because there's not much quality, really. Apart from, production quality, it all looks very nice. But, writing quality is not there, is it? As I've said before, they're basically playing with the toys, aren't they? They're playing with the action figures and just making up ludicrous storylines. It's bloody garbage. First draft scripts and all that, just thinking, we'll do this and we'll do this and we'll do this and we'll think of a bit of dialogue on the day. Anyway, suffice it to say, it appears that if there aren't any quality stories to be told, Book of Boba Fett Season 2 should be a no-go. Regardless, just like The Mandalorian, this spin-off is a Jon Favreau creation. Should stick to movies, John. At the end of the day, it's him who will probably determine if there's enough material for another round of solo Boba Fett. That is not to say there haven't been clues about a potential Season 2 for the Book of Boba Fett. Quite the contrary. In an interview with Pedro Pascal, posted on Star Wars official website, a paragraph refers to the first season of the Book of Boba Fett, perhaps hinting Season 2 is already in the works. He could have just been saying that. Adding fuel to that speculation, it's already been confirmed that Boba Fett will appear in The Mandalorian Season 3. Though it's unknown in what capacity that will be. Boba Fett doesn't care much about Mandalorian culture, and since the creed is not a race but a set of beliefs, he technically doesn't have a part to play in the series. In spite of that, Boba Fett is a powerful ally Din and Grogu could rely on. I get sick of Grogu, I am. Little freak. It does me head in. And his agnosticism could add an interesting layer to the brewing conflict among different Mandalorian factions. I think I saw somewhere, or watching a live stream, I can't remember which one it was now, where they were talking about the Mandalorian, and they were saying Din Djarin is not the Mandalorian anymore, it's Bo-Katan. They seem to be moving her to the forefront. So could Pedro be on his way out to go do his Last of Us and stuff like that? He's not even in it now, really. It's all stuntmen in it. Pedro just does the voice. And he has like, a handful of lines in each episode. But could Bo-Katan be the new Mandalorian? An actual Mandalorian this time. Anyway, in spite of that, Boba Fett, I've just read that bit, haven't I? Blah, 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 blah. Even more so, it's his appearance in the Mandalorian Season 3 that could really answer where Boba Fett is standing if he deserves more story time. The precedent set by the book of Boba Fett hints that if Season 2 is given the green light, Din Djarin and Grogu could join him. Mandalorian fans will have their fingers crossed for that, especially if the main series goes on another long break after Season 3. It will. They always do. They take forever these days, TV shows. The Mandalorian is exclusively available on Disney+. Yeah, it is, yeah. I quite like Seasons 1 and 2, but Season 3 hasn't been very good so far. And even that, the writing in Seasons 1 and 2 isn't amazing, is it? To be honest, it's not that good, It's proper kids stuff, isn't it? I mean, they'll say, "Oh, Star Wars is for kids," but that doesn't mean the writing has got to be like a 5-year-old wrote it. That's what it's like, isn't it? It's like the stories I used to write when I was a kid. Some might argue it's like the stories I write now, but I haven't written for a while. But anyway, let's move on. Should we stick with Star Wars? Yeah, we'll stick with Star Wars, and then we'll move on to another one. Gina Carano. Apologies for that. There she is, the lovely Gina Carano. Not the most flattering picture of her, but never mind. Gina Carano responds to Kotaku, is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. Senior editor that calumniated. He's been using his dictionary as old, is it John? Yeah, as John F. Trent. Calumniated her as transphobe. I've no idea what calumniated means. Let's look it up, shall we? Hey, dear. I bet he had to look it up. Come on, let's have it. There we go. Calumniated. It'll be something, that a name is called. Make false and defamatory statements about. Yeah, like I said, name calling. There you go. Anyway, right, Terror on the Prairie and My Son Hunter actress Gina Carano recently responded to Kotaku senior editor Alyssa McCante, who calumniated her by calling her a transphobe. I'm going to use that word all the time. On March 17th, McCante took to Twitter writing, "I am living for the fact that the Mandalorian kicked a muscular transphobe off the show and then brought in a muscular lesbian. Like, Gina Carano is seething right now," and there's the tweet. Showing the actress, I don't know her name, but she's in Mandalorian Season 3. She plays, I can't remember her name either, something Kane, in it? Elia Kane or something like that. She's a baddie in it, and you wouldn't know actually in that she had muscles like that. But I think is she a former UFC fighter? I think she might be. But there you go. But anyway, the post is full of lies meant to maliciously injure Carano's reputation. First off, Carano is not a transphobe. No, she's not. Far from it. After being fired from The Mandalorian, Carano explained to Ben Shapiro on the Ben Shapiro show why she refused to go along with transvestite and gender ideology activists demanding she put pronouns in her Twitter bio. By the way, this is from Bounding into Comics, so as I always say, well, it's a bit spicy, isn't it? They don't pull the punches, does John? Or he doesn't. I ended up putting beep bop boop in my Twitter bio, and it was 100% to go to the Twitter mob that was telling you what to do, and it had zero to do with trying to go after the transgender community, because I would never do that. She added, "Just me personally, I'm not trying to target anybody or go out after anybody, and so as soon as I saw people started taking that wrong, I put right after. I was like, no, beep, bop, beep was like me just saying. I literally said to my friend, I was like, let's put something in my bio just to show I can put whatever I want in my bio, just like they put whatever they want in their bio, like Trash Panda and all this stuff. So I just put these noises in my bio, and then there was this crazy meltdown. Yeah, because that word, there you go. That's what they are. These people. What do you mean, these people? It was just a big, massive meltdown, she elaborated, and all the fear and all of the stuff goes straight through your skin, and you start, whoa, what's happening? I told you I didn't mean this towards this community, and you're misunderstanding it. And it was just shockwave. Went through my body. I was like, oh, this is what this feels like. This is uncomfortable. Not only is Carano clearly not a transphobe, actress Katie O'Brien, who plays, there we go, Elia Kane. God, I were right. You know what I'm like with names? I don't usually remember them, do I? Who plays Elia Kane, or Amnesty Officer G68, did not replace Carano's Cara June character, given O'Brien played her character during the second season of The Mandalorian, as seen in 5 of the 8 episodes. She played a communications officer on Moff Gideon's ship. And to be honest, I thought she'd been killed, because they seemed to kill everybody on that ship apart from Moff Gideon, didn't they? But obviously she didn't. She was arrested and taken to Coruscant. And there's the lovely Gina Carano again. Along with, I forgot his name. Ed Screen. Actually thought it was somebody else. Never mind. He actually looks a bit like Randy Orton there, doesn't he, from the wrestling? But no, I was thinking it was somebody else. Him that did Starkiller in the Force Unleashed game. You know what I mean? And he voiced Darth Maul or Maul in Clone Wars and Rebels. He looks a bit like him anyway from there, doesn't he? You know what I mean? In response to Mercante, Carano tweeted, I've been tagged in this a bunch, so I wanted to say one thing. Please do not engage in hateful comments towards the actress in this pic. I met her on season 2 of Mando, I believe, and she was a sweetheart. Send her nothing but love. Oh, excuse me. She then added, the person who posted this is sad and got the ugly attention she desired, but that is not this actress's fault. It hurts my heart to think that someone is so excited about a job to be met with unjust hate because of ridiculous drama, rumours and heresy. Spelling? I experienced that, and it is cruel. I don't want anyone else to feel that. Move with care on here, Carano concluded. And there's the tweet. Yeah. There you go. There's a lot of letters there for a tweet. What a picture. Because I'm fed up of typing stuff in Twitter and then running out of bloody characters. I wish they'd sort that out. I mean, I know they increase the character count, but, sometimes I still put stuff in and... Anyway, what do you make of Gina Carano's response to Mercante and her calumny? Another bloody word. But yeah, I agree with Gina. She's a lovely woman. She is a lovely woman, not just to look at, but, in her personality. She's very super friendly and she's there for the fans. And apparently she's really nice. And other actors on Mandalorian have stood by her, even if Jon Favreau and all them didn't stand by her. But the other actors have, saying, she was the best person they ever worked with and stuff like that. But it's the Twitter mob. And I said, I wish bloody Elon would hurry up and sort it out. I don't know, right? But everybody's got a right to an opinion. So it's up to people, isn't it, to stop doing knee-jerk reactions. That's what it is. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Knee-jerk reactions. Anyway, so yeah, don't pick on the actress because she has replaced Cara June. She hasn't. She's playing her own character. Who was a baddie. Remember, Cara June was a goodie. It seems like she's a baddie. She's going to be with the Imperial Remnant by the look of it. But anyway, let's move on. Zack Snyder. As it says there, Zack Cinder. Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon has a R-rated extended cut already in the works. Why don't they just release the R-rated cut? It's on Netflix, isn't it? Zack Cinder. Zack Snyder's highly anticipated science fiction Star Wars inspired space saga Rebel Moon has R-rated extended editions already in the works. Zack Snyder's, they got it right this time, upcoming science fiction space epic Rebel Moon already has R-rated extended versions in the works. No, he said that 3 bloody times. Originally conceived as a Star Wars film, the story follows Cora, Sophia Boutella, as she enlists the aid of various warriors from other planets to help protect her home world from the evil tyrant Balisarius. Donald P. Ed Skrein, due to the expansive Seven Samurai-inspired concept, Snyder has split the film in 2, with Rebel Moon Part 2 shot back-to-back with the first movie. Seven Samurai, and, Magnificent Seven, Battle Beyond the Stars, they're all inspired by the Seven Samurai, aren't they? Speaking with slash film, not Italic Eye film, as I thought it was. I say that every time, because it's true, I'm an idiot. Speaking with slash film, Rebel Moon sound mixer Andy Koyama revealed that Snyder's upcoming Netflix sci-fi saga already has extended R-rated versions planned. Discussing his work on the films, he compared their feel to Star Wars, calling it exciting, though did not reveal when those extended editions could be released. Read what Koyama said below. We just did the first temp mix for the preview of part 1, and it's very exciting. It's a big, huge space. They probably don't want me to say this. Star Warsy. Well, yeah, it's going to be in it. Rebels against the evil empire thing over all sorts of different worlds. It's really fun. There's going to be 2 films. I think we're mixing that from June to February, really. And there's also going to be an extended R-rated versions of each of the 2 films, so we're going to be mixing 4 different features. There you go. Speaking of R-rated versions of films, I understand there's an R-rated version of Megan out now, apparently, which I'm going to have to find, because I really enjoyed Megan, and so I'm going to dig out, see if I can find that R-rated version. Because I think Tom from Midnight's Edge did a short video on YouTube saying he'd just watched it and he was holding the the Blu-ray or whatever it was. The R-rated version. Anyway, many of Snyder's films, including Dawn of the Dead, Watchmen, Sucker Punch, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, which I think is a masterpiece. I do, honestly do. And same with Watchmen, I think that's a masterpiece as well. And famously, Justice League have received an extended cut for its home release editions, although there is debate whether they improve their theatrical counterparts. Snyder has explained, yes they do, Snyder has explained that these versions are closer to his original vision for the films. Generally, audiences have responded positively to the director's longer editions, praising Watchmen's comic-accurate editions, properly expanding important subplots in Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, and notably correcting missteps in the DCEU's Justice League. Snyder's work on Justice League was halted due to a family tragedy, which also came after creative conflicts with Warner Brothers. His daughter took her own life, didn't she? As a result, writer-director Joss Whedon took over directorial responsibilities and released a film that audiences predominantly rejected. Famously, the Superman moustache erasure. Looked awful. However, after years of pressure from fans, Warner Brothers finally allowed Snyder to assemble a new Justice League cut, utilising 4 hours' worth of unused material, which received praise for its more cohesive narrative, improved villain design, and complete character arcs. Yeah, really good. I just wish it wasn't in 4:3, square format. I want it widescreen. Baffling. Generally cut back for runtime restrictions, theatrical editions may feature trimmed subplots that affect overall narrative clarity. Extended cuts allow directors to insert story elements that were previously removed in order to create a complete and cohesive film. Although Rebel Moon is set to tell a long story over the course of 2 films, Snyder will still have to trim the films down to a more palatable runtime. Oh, excuse me. For their limited theatrical releases. I should have a drink with me, I forgot to get one. With Rebel Moon set to premiere in December, audiences have to be patient to see how Snyder's R-rated extended editions will improve upon the films. Well, they might not improve them, but they'll make them a bit more bloody. And don't say bloody awful, because I'm looking forward to it. Right, we're moving on to Star Trek next. Right, here we go. This is from Giant Freaking Robot. Every ship in Star Trek Picard's Fleet Museum identified. If you remember, if you watched Star Trek Picard Season 3, which is really good, in Episode 6, they went to Athen Prime. Don't know where that is, but they went to Athen Prime, where the Starfleet Museum is, where they've got all these classic, legendary starships. Why it's not on Earth or one of the other Federation core worlds, I don't know. It's somewhere, God knows where. They went there and we saw all these ships. So we're going to look at them now. Star Trek Picard's latest episode features a truly spectacular fleet museum with a wide array of starships, and a researcher for the series has identified all of them. Jorge Hillebrand took to Twitter on Friday to share an image of the legacy ships featured in Thursday's Season 3, Episode 6, The Bounty, which is the name of one of the ships, with each ship class identified. Here's every ship in Star Trek Picard's Fleet Museum identified and labelled. Here we go. There you go. You see that? Right. I'll take my my ugly mug off so you can see all that. There we go. So here we go. So we're going like, which way we're going? We're going clockwise from number 1 down here. Hang on, can you see me? Can you see me mouse pointer? There we go. From number 1 there, that is the USS Enterprise A Constitution refit. Remember, the original Constitution refit was destroyed over the Genesis planet. So there we go. Why is there a B there? I don't know. We're going to come to them later. Yeah, I think we are. We'll keep on. Number 2, Klingon bird of prey, the Bounty. That's what's there. Can you see that? Which was the Klingon bird of prey that they got at the Genesis planet from the Klingons and took to Vulcan and then travelled back in time, got 2 whales, took them back to the 23rd century, went back to the 20th century, got 2 whales, George and Gracie, took them back to the 23rd century, dropped them off, and they told the whale probe, which was destroying the Earth's atmosphere, what to do with itself, in the words of Dr. McCoy. So that's there. It had been found, at the bottom of San Francisco Bay and obviously cleaned up and put in the Fleet Museum. Number 3, Klingon Katinga class battle cruiser. That's there. You see that there. Some have said that could be the Gorkon, not the Gorkon. No, the one that Gorkon has is Star Trek 6. That one. What do they call it? Kronos 1. That's it. Kronos 1, the ship that Gorkon was killed on. In Star Trek 6. I don't know if it is, but that's what some people have suggested. Right, so I move on. Number 4, the NX-01 refit. There you go. You just make it out. It's tiny compared to all the other stuff. Because it wasn't a big ship. The NX-01 Enterprise is, from the series Star Trek Enterprise, Captain Jonathan Archer and all that. My favourite Star Trek series. It is. But for it was cancelled after 4 seasons, and allegedly for season 5, it was going to get a refit, and it was going to have an engineering hull added underneath. And I think it was probably going to have upgraded engines. I think it was going to be able to go to warp 6 or something like that. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. But it was going to get a major refit for season 5, but it was cancelled. So, but anyway, apparently this is the refit that we see with the extra engineering section, secondary hull underneath. Right, number 5, a Miranda class there. Don't know which one it is. It could be the Reliant, for all we know. I know the Reliant was destroyed, wasn't it, in the Mutara Nebula. So it could be any of them. There's lots of them, aren't there? Lots of Miranda classes. And Miranda variants, such as the Soyuz class, which we saw, the USS Bozeman, didn't we? We saw that in Next Generation. So that's that one. Number 6 is a Nebula class. Like I say, that could be. And we saw a lot of Nebula classes. We saw the USS Farragut at the end of Star Trek Generations. That was a Nebula class. And I think the USS, is it Venture, that we saw in, was it in the Voyager finale? Is that what I'm thinking of? Or was it in the episode where they went back, where the Voyager was stuck in ice, and Harry Kim and Chakotay travelled back in time to save, they were from the future and they travelled back in time to save the Voyager from being trapped in ice. And I think it was the Venture under Captain LaForge. I think that was a Nebula class. Could be wrong. Right, number 7. We've got USS Voyager, Intrepid class, and we've got another story about that next, so we'll just skirt over that one. Number 8, Excelsior, USS Excelsior class. We know it's the Excelsior because on the end credits it shows a list of some of the ships, and it just says USS Excelsior NCC 2000, so that we know that's the Excelsior. Right, so number 9 is Akira class. I don't know any Akira class names for ships. I think we saw them most prominently. We'll have seen them in the beginning of Star Trek First Contact when they were fighting the Borg Cube. We might have seen them in Deep Space Nine during the Dominion War. Number 10, USS New Jersey, Constitution class, the original Constitution. Well, is it? The original series Constitution class, we'll call it. That's the USS New Jersey. Probably called that because Terry Metalis is from New Jersey. But it was NCC 1975, well, that one, which is, I think he was born in 1975 with Terry Metalis. So that's just a bit of self-promotion, really, or self-insert there. But it's the old original series Constitution class. Does that mean that the Enterprise Constitution class that we see in Strange New Worlds is going to get an original series refit before Captain Kirk takes command? I hope so, because now it's canon again now. Because remember, the Enterprise that we see in Strange New Worlds, although it looks lovely, it's a lovely design for a ship, it's not the design that we see in the original series, is it? Anyway, number 11 is a Constellation class Stargazer. That's the most famous one, the USS Stargazer, which was Picard's first command. So that's that one. I don't know if that is that one. I don't know, but probably not. Oh no, it was destroyed, I think, with the Stargazer, wasn't it? No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was abandoned, and then that Ferengi, Damon Bock, that episode, The Battle, he found it, didn't he, and brought it back, didn't he? So it was recovered, I think. I don't think it was destroyed. Anyway, never mind. Number 12, that's empty. That's the one that the Titan. Luckily, there was an empty berth, and the Titan slid in there. By the way, you might notice, you can just see it there in that one. They all seem to be online to the ships. All the nacelle lights and stuff, and the deflector dish lights are all lit up. Does that mean the ships have got crews on? They've all got power? Because otherwise, if the Titan were hiding there, it'd have to go in there, power down everything, wouldn't it? But it didn't. So anyway, then these lettered ones. I don't know why they've got letters. These, well, just never mind. A, that's a Romulan bird of prey. I can't make out if it's from the original series or if it's from, we saw one in Enterprise, didn't we? Although I liked that episode where we saw them, Minefield of Enterprise. That was season 2 of Enterprise. I did like that episode. I didn't like that they had, we saw the Romulan and a bird of prey with a cloaking device, and there were cloaked mines. I didn't like that because it was suggested that the first time we saw a Romulan cloaking device were in the original series episode, Balance of Terror. So that was a bit of a boo-boo for Enterprise, even though it's my favourite. Anyway, B, USS Defiant, Defiant class. Can't really make it out there, can we? Never mind. Yeah, but that were there. We had a good look at it. If you remember, though, it's not actually... It was the Defiant, but it was not the original Defiant, which were destroyed at the Battle of Chintoka. Or Chintaka, I don't know how to pronounce it. And they got a new one, which was the USS Sao Paulo, but that were renamed the Defiant. Then C, Sabre class. I don't know. We've probably seen them at in First Contact and the DS9 Dominion Wars. And D, where's D? Where's D? I can't see a D there. Have they made a boo-boo? Oh, hang on, we're down here, look, we're down here. Right, we're down here. B, there's the Defiant class. D, Akira class. So there's D. You can't really make it out, can you? It's not really very, very good. But I think we saw the Akira class. I think we saw that in First Contact as well. So there you go. Right, so to see zoomed-in close-up of key ships in the museum, visit our dedicated Starships page. Oh, there you go. So if you want to do that, should we do that? Should we open that up? We'll open that up, and let's have a look at this. There we go. Latest Starships. No, it didn't though, is it? I thought it was going to show us zoomed-in pictures of all those that we've just looked at. Stupid, giant freaking robot. Anyway, the image is a virtual Easter egg basket of Star Trek ships with many such as the USS Voyager, the USS Defiant and the USS Excelsior, instantly recognisable fan favourites. Saying that, I think the TOS Constitution class, I'm sure in the end credits, I've actually got it. I'm going to have to find it. I've got the image because I did a video about it. Where have I put it? Is it in here? I did a video about it, and I'm sure the original series Constitution class were a different name. It wasn't the New Jersey. Here we go. PS, end credits. View, extra large icons. Where have I put it? Where is it? Is that it? I don't put it there. Let's have a look. USS Pioneer, it says here, NCC 1500. I think that's Constitution class. Hang on, I will see if I can share the image with you. If I just drag it on here. So let me have a look at this other image. I think we've got a side view. Oh no, it's not. No, it's not. I'm lying. It's not. It's different. It's a different class. It's not a Constitution class. There's a side view and it's different. So sorry, I'm wrong. I admit my mistake. Yeah, it's not. So never mind. Right, where were we? The USS Pioneer. It were I don't know what class it was, but it had a shorter secondary hull, engineering hull, than a Constitution class. Right, where we were. Others, though, are lovely little nuggets for all the shipyard nerds. Well, I'm sure Trek Yards have done a video about it already. There are less commonly seen ship classes such as Akira and Nebula. Plus, we've seen loads of Nebula class ships. Plus more recognisable classes such as the Constellation class, seen most famously as Picard's first command, the original USS Stargazer, and the Miranda class, infamously featured as the USS Reliant, though that is not the Reliant in the picture, of course, but a different Miranda. Also not the USS Saratoga, which were destroyed at the Battle of Wolf 359, wasn't it? Which Khan Noonien Singh commandeered in Star Trek II. And though it might look like the original USS Enterprise is present, oh, here we go, here's a lovely picture, look. That ship was refit in Star Trek the Motion Picture and then destroyed over the Genesis planet. So the Constitution class vessel we see in this shot is the USS New Jersey. Look at that. Isn't that magnificent? NCC 1975. All lit up, look. So is the crews on there? Have they got like skeleton crews keeping them ticking over? Are we going to see all these come fly to the aid of Jean-Luc Picard in the final episode? I'm hoping. I don't know. I've not seen it. I'm guessing. Anyway, there you go. Proper Constitution class, original series. Does this mean the Strange New Worlds Constitution class is going to get a refit to that? I hope so, but I bet it don't. Whether these are the most well-known vessels in each ship class or not, it's exciting to see these familiar and rare designs all in one place. Star Trek Picard has, since its first season, been a smorgasbord of Easter eggs, almost on the level of Star Trek Lower Decks. But not quite to that extreme. I hate Lower Decks. Just thinking about it, I can feel me anger in the pit of my stomach rising. I'm looking at camera, I'm not even on the hammer. There we go. Hello, I'm back. Yeah, I hate Lower Decks. The scenery, props, and even incidental sound effects have frequently been awash with homages to Trek luminaries and insiders from Spock to Season 3 showrunner Terry Matalas. In this episode, the series even made the fairly meta move of featuring Georgia LaForge actor LeVar Burton's real-life daughter as one of LaForge's daughters. Oh, pardon me, I'm burping. Paying tribute to a franchise's past is often dismissed as fan service, a cloying gimmick of which Star Trek has certainly been guilty from time to time over the course of its 56-year and counting history. But Star Trek Picard seems to be striking an extraordinary balance of bringing back fan favourites in ways both large and small that avoid being trite or superficial, but are expanding and deepening existing characters and finding rich, dramatic material within decades-old storylines. I've got to admit, though, I did find episode 6 a little bit too fan servicey. I love fan service. I love it. I even liked seeing Ponda Baba and Dr. Evazian, whatever he's called, in Rogue One. You know, but so I don't mind a bit of fan service, but I think it did go a little bit overboard, particularly, you know, at the Fleet Museum and also Daystrom Station when we saw the things that we saw on Daystrom Station. Were a little bit overboard and a little bit unnecessary, to be honest, but never mind. Right. While this has been done well in previous seasons, Metallus, who knows a thing or two about Trek's legacy, has been especially skilled at weaving a new tapestry. I'm going to sneeze. TNG, pun intended, out of old and new threads. Oh, excuse me. Oh, all snot and bogies down my beard now. Oh, there could be. But there's a big bogey dangling out of my nose. I bet there is. Right, where were we? Especially skilled at weaving a new tapestry. TNG, pun intended. There's an episode called that. Where we see how Jean-Luc Picard got his artificial heart. Now he's got an artificial everything. Out of all the new threads. Indeed, these hidden gems and details in the series are just one example of the love with which it is made. The season has brought back to Trek, along with fellow legends Doug Drexler, Dan Curry and John Eves, scenic artist and designer Mike Okuda, I presume his wife as well, who was well known during his time on previous Trek films and series such as TNG for hiding little in-jokes and sci-fi references in on-set designs and labels, and in his computer display designs known as Okudagrams. So it only seems fitting that Picard and the other new Trek series would continue this tradition. That's it, isn't it? Yeah, because that goes on to another story there. So there you go. So they were all the ships that we saw at the Athen Prime Fleet Museum. And no mention of something in Hangar 12, although I don't know if we can see it here. We can see Hangar 7 there, all these different bays around there. And the rumour is it's going to be the Enterprise D. I don't know how, because it was destroyed, wasn't it? Maybe it could be the Enterprise E, maybe. Could be. The Enterprise D were destroyed, wasn't it? Except for the saucer section, which were on Viridian 3, wasn't it? So it could be the Enterprise E, you never know. Or they could have rebuilt it. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, sticking with that, Captain Janeway's USS Voyager just returned to Star Trek, but they changed it. There it is. Star Trek Voyager ended its television run on May 23rd, 2001. The iconic ship the show was named after hadn't been seen since, until now. Star Trek Picard just brought it back for an episode titled The Bounty in Season 3. Here's what she looked like in a one close-up shot in the episode, and it was glorious. There she is. As I said, all lit up. They must have a crew on board. Even the photon tube top, even the photon launchers are lit. In one episode of this Picard season, Star Trek gave us the Voyager B, but that's a totally new ship. This is the first time we've seen the original Voyager, the one that went to the Delta Quadrant since Star Trek Voyager went off the air in 2001. And here it is that the original Voyager's return being introduced on Star Trek Picard Season 3, Episode 6 in a beautiful and touching scene from Commander 7 of 9, who once called the USS Voyager home. And there's a tweet from Sabrina, like the teenage witch. Oh, my heart, I am not crying. There you go. Because Star Trek Voyager ended its run on television before the advent of HD, I'm rewatching it now on Netflix, and I'd love to see it in HD. And because CBS has been too cheap to spend the money to upgrade the show to HD, we've never actually seen Voyager in anything other than grainy, low-def 90s television quality. Yeah, that's true. Same with Deep Space Nine. Upgrade them to HD. This is the first time she's ever been seen in HD. To that end, it seems they made a few minor changes to the ship. Maybe they were made to better take advantage of HD, or maybe for other mysterious reasons. Here's the USS Voyager as she looked on Star Trek Voyager more than 20 years ago, stacked on top of the new HD version for comparison purposes. There she is from Star Trek Voyager, as you can see, looking very nice. The torpedo launchers not lit up. And here she is on thing. As you can see, more detail. It's more well-defined. Remember, that's not a... If that's a still from the series, then obviously it's not HD, is it? And it's surprising how much difference it makes. But it's more defined, isn't it? The biggest thing you're likely to notice is the colour, which has been changed to a darker shade of grey. Along with that, Voyager's hull now has a more plated look than the old version. In the In the final episode, though, didn't Voyager have lots of Borg enhancements that they put on? I'm sure it did. Unless they must have removed them. Most of the other slight changes are on the bottom of the ship's saucer section. The registry number, which is on the ship in the 2001 version, is missing in the 2023 version. That's likely simply due to time constraints. They probably just ran out of time and didn't do it. Isn't that true? Let's have a look. Oh, you see it there. NCC, was it 74656 or something like that, wasn't it? And you can't see it there. No, true. Maybe they just forgot. Or maybe it's not the Voyager. The windows on the saucer are also different. The 2023 version has some kind of massive viewing window in front of the Aero shuttle, while the 2001 version has something a little more subdued and less grand in that spot. There are minor changes to some of the other windows too. There we go, that's a big viewing window there, and let's say it's still there, isn't it? I'd say it could be lighting, the way it's lit, it just makes it look different. That's the Aero shuttle they're talking about. It was never deployed in the series, but it's in the blueprints. Sometimes called the captain's yacht. That's what it deploys from underneath the saucer section. Never saw it used. So there are changes, but they're minor. Showrunner Terry Matalas and his team deserve a round of applause for their effort here, despite those minor differences. Round of applause. Hang on. Switch on my machine, see if it works. I can't remember which button it is. Is it that one? I hope so.
Awesome!
I hope I picked the right button there. That was supposed to be the round of applause. Might not have been. No, that's awesome, innit? I missed. Wrong button. There we go. It doesn't play through my speakers for some reason. Anyway, never mind. Right, where were we? Let's turn that off again. Round of applause. Despite those minor differences, this is an incredibly faithful recreation of the Starship Voyager. Fans are over the moon with excitement for the faithful way he's used and referenced Star Trek canon in his storytelling. Voyager wasn't the only iconic Trek ship to make an appearance in this Star Trek Picard episode. We have a full breakdown of every ship seen in the episode, in blah, 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 blah. We've been to that, and it isn't, is it? It isn't that. But never mind. But there you go. So let's say it looks more detail. There's more detail to it, isn't there? Apart from the missing registry number there. They could have used, let's say, CG in it. They could have used a CG model. Because I think Voyager did move to CG as the series went on. I think it started as an actual model, but I think quite quickly it went to CG. Because I think the opening titles were like a CG test, weren't they? They ended up using for the opening titles for Voyager. So it was a CG model. So they could have just used a CG model and sharpened it up a bit or rendered it in high definition. But we could have seen some CG. They could have CG models, there available. We might have seen them in, other Star Trek things, in the movies or whatever, or in Deep Space Nine, in the Battle of the Dominion War. There were probably Intrepid class ships there, weren't there? Somewhere, I couldn't tell you exactly, but there you go. So it does look nice, and it looks, let's say, a bit sharper, a bit more HD than the original, as you'd expect. Right, last story. It's a list. A Doctor Who list. The biggest, what the flipping flip, Doctor Who moments. So here we go. Doctor Who is by its very nature a weird show. A face-changing alien flying through space and time in a phone box. That's weird. The show has given its fans plenty of nutty moments over the years, for better or for worse, but which ones stand out as the strangest of the strange? Well, as always, we've got a few opinions. This being Doctor Who, there's so much what the flipping flip to choose from. So, whittling things down was a mammoth task. But these particular moments stand a head and shoulders above the rest, and the surreal nature of these scenes took viewers, and in many cases the characters involved, totally by surprise when they first saw them. I bet they're all from, new Doctor Who. I bet they are. From, Russell T Davies onwards. I bet they Whether they were completely unexpected, out of character, or just straight up wacky, nobody saw any of these things coming, and honestly, we're still reeling from them to this very day. Remember, I haven't seen these, so I don't know. There could be anything. Right, number 10, Rory punches Hitler in Let's Kill Hitler. There he is. You know it's going to be a crazy list when Let's Kill Hitler is only at number 10 after the blockbuster revelation that River Song was Amy and Rory's daughter. The 6th series of New Who returned after an agonising 3-month wait with this absolutely wild trip back to 1938 during a convoluted series of events involving their friend Mel regenerating into their brainwashed assassin daughter. The Ponds come face to face with one of history's biggest monsters when the TARDIS crashes into his office in Berlin. A short while later, Rory, who was developing into more of an action hero throughout season 6, ends up socking the dictator right in the mush after he begins firing a gun. And thus, one of our most gifable moments in Doctor Who history was born. A tea time adventure show including Adolf Hitler at all is pretty bold, but going as far as to show him on screen with a weapon and then having one of the main characters knock him out, that's a whole other level of bonkers, and we're totally here for it. Oh, and bonus points for the subsequent "Shut up, Hitler" and Rory locking him in the cupboard. Chef's kiss. Oh, is it one of them I've got to click next? Oh, for Pete's sake. There used to be a thing where you could type in, where it says up there, page 2. You type in all. Does it work? Nah, it don't work, no. They used to be able to do that, didn't they? You could do that. Anyway, number 9, Davros gets emotional. The Witch is familiar. I don't even know if I've even seen this episode. From his introduction in 1975, Davros has always been presented as a nasty piece of work, attempting to conquer the universe with his own twisted set of ideals. The creator of the Daleks is one of the ultimate big bads in all of Doctor Who, which is why this episode's decision to humanise him was so controversial. In The Witch is Familiar, the 12th Doctor... which is the 12th? I can't remember which the 12th is. Is that Matt Smith? I can't remember. I've lost count. The 12th Doctor ends up chatting with the decrepit scientist, and the two share a surprisingly tender moment. Davros reveals that he is dying and appears to express regret at the life he has lived. He even sheds a few tears, an unthinkable concept for such a dastardly villain. Audiences were stunned, and so was the Doctor, who repeatedly expressed confusion at just what the hell he's witnessing. This all turns out to be a giant ruse to siphon off some of the Doctor's regeneration energy, but there was a point where it really looked like one of the most evil beings in all of Who was actually showing some remorse. Some people loved this twist on the character and hoped that Davros was being genuine, while others thought it went against everything he stood for. Regardless of your stance, it was totally unexpected to see him get all weepy. I'll have seen that one, but I don't actually remember it. Was the 12th Doctor Peter Capaldi? Yes, he was. That was Peter Capaldi, wasn't it, 12th Doctor? So maybe I didn't see that one, because I stopped watching it about halfway through his run, so it might have been in the latter half. Because it went crap, in my opinion. Oh, no, I were wrong. Classic Doctor Who. Number 8, Cardboard Companion, The Mind Robber. This is Patrick Troughton, isn't it? The entirety of 1968's The Mind Robber is a peculiar affair consisting of the second Doctor wandering around the land of fiction, a realm where nothing is as it seems. Here, the Doctor and his companions encounter all kinds of weirdness, from creaky clockwork soldiers shambling about the place to a 17th century Englishman seemingly pulled out of time. Totally normal stuff. By the way, up in this list they include the Loch Ness Monster. That's my favourite episode, but anyway, never mind. Possibly the strangest moment in the serial is a sequence where Jamie is inexplicably turned into a cardboard cutout with his face going missing. There we go. Fraser Hines played Jamie. The Doctor is then forced to reassemble Jamie's face using a nearby selection of eyes, noses and mouths, but unfortunately he gets it wrong, and when Jamie returns to his fleshy form, he has a completely different appearance. This plot point came about via a last-minute rewrite after actor Fraser Hines contracted chickenpox, forcing the role to be temporarily recast. The Doctor's baffled response to this discount Jamie is pure gold, resulting in one of the most delightfully odd Doctor Who moments ever. I've got to be honest, I've not seen that. I think the only one of Patrick Troughton's Doctor Who's I've seen is that Cyberman one, towards the end of his run. John Pertwee, my first Doctor. Right, gorillas can flush the God Complex. This is a new one, isn't it, by the looks? Returning to Series 6, The God Complex is a cracking episode about a hotel with rooms containing everyone's darkest fears. It co-stars Sarah Quintrell and comedian David Walliams, whose room is presumably full of outdated Little Britain sketches. In the episode's cold open, Quintrell's character Lucy Hayward is confronted by her phobia. Clearly she was terrified of that Cadbury's advert where a gorilla played the drums. Playing Phil Collins, wasn't it? Because her room appeared to contain that very same gorilla, albeit a much more low-budget version. And as if this laughably fake-looking outfit wasn't strange enough, we first see the gorilla emerge from the bathroom, holding a roll of toilet paper. What? Is Lucy scared? Oh, I keep pressing that bloody right click. Is Lucy scared of gorillas in general, or gorillas in toilets? Who trained that gorilla to use an indoor toilet? Why did it take the toilet paper out of the bathroom? We could go on. The other fears in this episode, laughing puppets, sad clowns, weeping angels, and even overly stern parents, are effectively portrayed, which makes this bloke in a cheap ape suit even weirder. And the fact that it appears to have just taken a dump doesn't exactly make it feel more threatening. But hey, when you gotta go, you gotta go. I don't think I've seen that one. I don't know where that one comes in the Series 6. Which was Series 6? Who were in it? I don't know. I've probably seen it, but I can't remember it. Here we go. The Death Montage, Heaven Sent. After watching Clara die in the previous episode, the Doctor finds himself in a mysterious location with no idea how he got there. He's also being pursued by some sort of cloaked monster that can kill with a single touch. So far, so bizarre. Though throughout Heaven Sent, the Doctor finds out that he's in a confession dial, a Time Lord device designed to trap prisoners in a never-ending hell. He eventually figures a way out of the dial, but only after dying a lot. Like, really a lot. Watching the Doctor dragging his dying body through the castle before frazzling his head and killing himself over and over again is heart-racing stuff. The scale and scope of what's going on is mind-boggling, and it speaks volumes to the legendary tenacity that makes the Doctor such a great hero. Heaven Sent is a what the flipping flip episode in general. Not in a bad way or a weird way like many of the entries on this list, but because of how far it pushed the Doctor and the show itself into territory it rarely ventures. Another one I don't remember. I think that's Peter Capaldi again, isn't it? As I said, it was probably towards the end. I stopped watching it halfway through his. Here we go, another classic one. Not So Creepy Crawl is The Web Planet. Look at that. Cool BBC special effects. Amazing. Most early sci-fi looks really hokey by modern standards, and Doctor Who is no exception. Case in point, The Web Planet. This first Doctor serial from 1965 transports the Doctor and his buddies to a distant land where they end up getting caught between various different creepy crawly species. The serial was written by Bill Strutton, who was inspired by a childhood memory where he was bitten by a bull ant, although in Strutton's mind those ants were probably not a bunch of extras in rather unconvincing suits. Indeed, the costuming for the ant-like Zabi and the butterfly-like Menoptera has aged like a bowl of fish custard left out in the sun. Ew. It was, you mean fish fingers in custard? That's Doctor likes them, doesn't he? It was a different time with a much lower budget, of course, but it's undeniably jarring to go back and watch this footage today. There's even a moment where one of the Zabi actors who couldn't see properly out of the suit bumps into the camera. That's one way to get yourself noticed. Oh, and there's a blooper. Shall we have a watch? Only 7 seconds. Go on, stay. Cool. Right, next. Space Pigs, Aliens of London. Look at the state of that. Deal. After resurrecting Doctor Who in 2005, Russell T Davies wasted no time in exploring the stranger side of time and space, as proven. Look, cats at window. Look. You have to wait, princess. Every time I start these live shows. Russell T Davies wasted no time in exploring the stranger side of time and space, as proven by this iconic moment from the first two-parter in New Who history. Aliens of London kicks off with a huge spaceship crashing into the Thames. The Ninth Doctor immediately sets off to investigate and finds more than he bargained for when he does. After sneaking into a unit facility where the alien body is being housed, he soon finds that the creature isn't only still alive, but that it isn't an alien at all. The pilot of the craft was actually a regular old Earth pig, modified by extraterrestrial tech. Like the Muppets. Pigs in space. Remember that? Showing my age. That's weird enough as it is, but things get even weirder when the little oinker starts running around on its hind legs while the Doctor chases after it. Look at its little legs go. It's actually quite adorable, isn't it? Sadly, though, things don't end well for Astro Pig when it's gunned down by an understandably baffled unit soldier. Wait, did Doctor Who actually make us emotional about a pig in a spacesuit? What a show. Next. Number 3, Ood on the Loo, Pond Life. I thought that was freaked me out, the Ood. I find them really scary for some reason. Between series 6 and 7 of New Who, the BBC put out 5 minisodes of Pond Life. Apologies if you hear that, kids outside screaming. A series of shorts depicting what the Doctor and the Ponds were getting up to in between main episodes. Highlights of these shorts include the Doctor running away from some Sontarans while holding a surfboard, the Doctor bursting in while Amy and Rory are in bed, and this gem from the 3rd episode of that. Rory, in his dressing gown, is off to do his business. However, when he opens the door to his bathroom, he finds a bloody Ood just sat there on the toilet, sitting there. Get your grammar right. Sitting there on the toilet, asking if he can be of any assistance. The timing is perfect, as is Rory's reaction, and the music that accompanies the skit. All of this is without mentioning the sight of a big tentacled alien casually propped up on the loo, as if it's the most normal thing in the world. Probably is for an Ood. Pond Life was a proper treat. I never saw it. The webisodes or minisodes, what were they on then? I don't know. I didn't see it. Number 2, The Matrix, The Deadly Assassin. Oh, this is from classic Doctor Who, isn't it? Sadly, not a crossover between Tom Baker and Keanu Reeves. This serial from 1976 sees the 4th Doctor take on the Master in a battle that will determine the fate of Gallifrey. Here the Doctor enters the Matrix, which is essentially a supercomputer containing all manner of Time Lord knowledge. When the Doctor is loaded into it, things get super wacky super quickly. Our hero turns into a quarry. Where else? Turns up in a quarry. Not turns into a quarry. Our hero turns up in a quarry. Where else? Obviously. When he falls down a hill for no decent reason, he then ends up on an operating table while a man with a ridiculously oversized syringe stands over him. Then a bloke with a horse turns up. There's also a creepy clown thrown in for good measure. Basically, what we're trying to say is that everything goes mental and it's wonderful. This whole sequence is like something out of a piece of surrealistic cinema. It's completely unhinged, but it probably did a great job of putting an entire generation of children off psychedelic drugs. There's a clip. Can we see it? Oh no, it's a bit too long, isn't it? Yeah. Let's. I'm going to show him fall down the cliff. There we go. There's the scary clown. I don't know. Can't play it because I get copyright struck if I play any more. Right, and number 1, a bit of a love life, Love and Monsters. Is this another one I've not seen? Doesn't ring a bell. Anyway, there we go. There's a face in, so I don't know. It couldn't be anything else, could it? It's obviously been said countless times by now, but Love and Monsters is a bloody weird episode of Doctor Who. The first half of the episode, involving Elton's everyday life and Linda's search for the Doctor, is actually quite good. I've no idea who they are. But the absolute apex of what the flipping flip comes right at the end when Elton talks about his relationship with Ursula. Who are these names? I don't know who they are. You know, Ursula, the woman who the Doctor saved by forcing her to live a horrible life as part of a paving slab because Elton was too selfish to let her die. Which Doctor was this? Is that the Doctor? Is that David Tennant? I don't know. I don't remember this episode. After the doctor brings her back, Ursula joins her dearest Elton for a recording of his video diary. In it, he talks about their situation and utters the immortal line, "We've even got a bit of a love life." Nope, just nope, 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 nope. Is it Moaning Myrtle? It looks like it, doesn't it? From Harry Potter. It does to me, anyway. What it Ursula that became a Ursula became, I think it is Moaning Myrtle. Could be. Now that Russell T Davies is shown her again, maybe he'll revisit the Ursula situation and free her from this paving slab purgatory. Or more likely, she'll be trapped there forever. Best not to dwell on that thought, eh? And there we go. That's it. That's your list. I like ending on a list. Right, we'll leave it there. They were all weird. What the flipping flip moments, weren't they? I've pressed the wrong button. God, I'm stupid. There we go. Right, that's it. Bit of news for a Sunday afternoon. I hope you put your clocks forward. Remembered to, because it's now T-minus 14:57 in the afternoon, 3:57 p.m. on that old Yorkshire Geek FM, sir. Right, so we'll leave it there. So I suppose I better go see if Aidan's going to get up. I think he's been up all night, and so he's nodded off sometime this morning. So I better go see if he wants to get up. And seeing as it's nearly tea time. Right, so thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other. And until next time, I'll see thee.